Hey, welcome back to another episode of Main Irish Angling TV. We're having another look at the Pike Predator range that's in store. This time of year, it's cold. Most people are out pike fishing until the spring changes their venues and their species. But at the moment, as I said, we've been looking at a number of pike things and bits and pieces that will help you put fish on the bank. So today we're actually having a look at traces, the terminal tackle end that's going to hook you your fish. Now, if you're a novice, and let's face it, we all had to start somewhere, I would recommend that you buy the pre-made rigs until you know what you're doing. Pre-made rigs, the quality of them these days are outstanding. They're not very, in the old days when I was fishing, they were very basic and they really sort of were poorly made, to be quite honest with you, but not so anymore. These are really well made gear. We've got a couple of pieces here. We've got, like, for instance, we have Pike Pro. This is, you basically have your trebles, you have everything covered, you have a great wire trace. You also have the little red flags on them. The little flags are, so if your bait is drifting, the fish, if a pike is sitting out there, he may see a flash of the red flag, and it's kind of that roach bait fish thing going on, and he might be enticed to taking the bait a little bit quicker. You also have the Fox range. I just want to give you an example of price. That particular trace is €3.79. They also have the Fox range, which is exactly the same deal, exactly the same system, and that's $3.93. So, they're not the cheapest of things to start off with, but if you don't know what you're doing, they're probably the best starting point. They also do up traces, which are fantastic if you're fishing with lures, if you're fishing with, if you're wobbling dead baits. They have the up trace, which allows you just clip on your line, clip on your lure or your wobbled dead bait, and off you go. And they're retailing at $2.65, and I know Fox have one here for $3.93. Exactly kind of the same thing. The difference is they've used their Carboflex trace material. The Carboflex is a much softer and more malleable wire trace, and therefore it actually moves the bait a little bit more naturally, which is good. Now, eventually you're going to start saying, no, hang on, I want to make my own rigs, and that's the best way to go. There are a number of ways of doing it. You can either wrap the wire as you go, and then what you do is you put the wire trace through your swivel twice, come back, and you clip on your artery forceps and you spin them, and they wrap around real tight. And there is an easier method to that, and that is Fox have the Easy Twist twiddling stick. They have all the instructions on the back if you're not sure what you're doing, but I'm telling you, this is absolutely a doddle. This is €6.17. It's one of those things that once you buy, it's in the box and you'll never be without it, and you'll always use it. Another important piece, and I've used these, and I own these, and I think they're a godsend, are trace blades. These are €14.95, and they are designed specifically to cut any wire trace. And believe me, you and me, you need a clean cut, because what happens if you don't get a clean cut, the trace wire will actually start to fray and open. This will stop that happening. It cuts it clean every time. Brilliant little add-on there. Now, as I said, there are ways of tying the trace onto your hook and to your swivel, and most people go the route of twiddling them. Very simple method and very quick and easy. Some people prefer crimping, and there are sometimes conditions that you're going to need to crimp anyway. And Fox do a full crimping system. Your crimps are going to be €3.60 for, how many are in there? There's 20 of them in there. So that's going to be at a minimum of, probably 12, maybe 15, about 10 rigs you probably get out of that. Also, then they have the Fox crimping pliers, which allows you to use the crimping system, and that's €11.73. Sticking with Fox, they also do the swivels. Now, these are really, really high standard and high quality swivels. They're power swivels. They're designed for pike fishing. They're designed to take the abuse that we pike anglers will put them through. For €4.22, they're a size 5, and there's a quantity of 20 of them in the thing in the packet itself. They also have the flags separate. I was showing you the flags earlier on. The flags, I use these on every trace. I don't know whether they catch me more fish, but it's a confidence thing with me. If I have them on one of the trebles, I just feel that I'm giving the fish more options. And as I said, I don't know whether it makes any difference, but hey, I still use them anyway. And they will set you back around €3.60 for, I think it's about 20 again. Quick change trace links, again, it allows you to quickly change over your traces. If you're a bit anal about traces like me, where you change them over on a regular basis after a couple of fish, I just change to a new trace. They also have these lovely little treble hook sleeves. Do you remember I was saying about sometimes the wire can start to fray as it gets battered around a bit? This will stop them. They are little silicone sleeves. They slip over the knot of the wire and onto the hook and unlock tight. They're great for that as well, for stopping that fraying. Mentioned Carboflex earlier on. Carboflex, one of my favourite wires out there. I'm not going to say much more about it. There's a whole myriad of wires on the market. Find what you like, stick with it, have confidence in it.
Fox themselves actually do the full range of strand, 7-strand wire. They do a stiff wire. They cater for the whole lot, and we have it here in stock. So if you're not specifically, you know, au fait with one, or you have a preference to a particular type of wire, we have it here for you as well.
And that's 15 metres of wire for $9.69, under a tenner. And then you have the Fox Trace crimp covers. If you're going to go down the crimping route, this again covers up the crimp itself so it doesn't get abused in any shape or form. Moving on to hooks. Hooks are a real personal thing, and I know Fox do a range of hooks. I know that they're just sitting there, and I've used owner hooks for many, many years, and I swear by owner hooks. They have them, these are really super, super strong hooks. Number of different sizes. There's, how many hooks are in this, Derek?
There's only, in a pack, there's
7.
7 hooks, but they're just such, as you say, such a high quality hook.
Well, these are retailing around $5.69. They're in red. Again, a visual thing, might help you. They also have them in the more bronzed out version. But I tell you, owner hooks, I was paying well over into double figures when I was buying these for the same quantity. So that's either come down in price, or you've been able to source them a lot cheaper than I could get them. But as I said, owner, hands down, are my favourite pike hooks in the world. Again, Pike Pro, not used the hooks, but I have heard some great, you know, feedback from them. These are semi-barbless. This is...
The beauty of this is it's a bulk pack.
Yeah.
There's 20 hooks.
So there's 20 hooks in a pack, and that's only €6.32. So when you start adding it all up, if you're looking at making a full trace yourself, it can become quite expensive. Or if you buy a ready-made trace, because let's face it, on a daily session you could go through a couple of traces. But if you start buying, you know, bulk packs and getting your sort of bits and pieces, your swivels and stuff, you can actually make it very, very cost effective. So as I said, do you want to add to anything?
Yeah, but again, Fox themselves have a massive range of hooks. These are my personal favourite. They're the extra strong carbon treble, semi-barbed, and again, they just don't let me down. I've never straightened one, I've never broke one, and I just think they're a fabulous hook. But again, the Pike Pro, I've used the Pike Pro hooks myself. They actually are a very, very good hook. They're very good quality. But again, where they come into their own is the value pack, you know, for the price. As you say, it is preference regards traces, what way they work. Up traces, some people don't use them. I think everybody should use them. But again, it is more economical long term to make your own traces.
Absolutely.
Now, what we do here in the store is, if somebody comes in and they want to get into making their own traces, what we do is we pick out everything they need, and when they're happy to go with it, we lay it out on the table, and I'll actually show them how to make different types of traces for different rigs with their own gear. So they're going home with already made traces. Now we'll spend that time. I do it all the time here. Fantastic. And we just show lads. And then what we do is, everyone has their different ideas and different, and it's about, you know, there's no two anglers make the same traces. No two anglers are the same. You know, and so all we do is we plant the seed, and it's up to them to experiment and use what they're happy with. And it's very good.
And something Derek is always telling me, don't forget the internet. The internet is a great place to find out, you know, between YouTube and then there's, you know, sort of different manuals online of how to do stuff. If you need stuff, it's out there. So, you know, you just have to do a bit of research and then take your time and test everything out yourself. Give it a pull, give it a test, make sure you're happy with it before you use it.
Yeah, again, a quick one on the Carboflex. I use Carboflex all the time. I used to be a twiddler, I used to use 7-strand. This year I started using Carboflex, and I won't change. It's so supple, it's so natural in the water, it's like a nylon. Yeah. The beauty of it is as well, if you make up a trace and you catch a fish, and then eventually you get a kink between the hooks, all you do is cut it above the hooks, You still have, if you make them long enough from the start, i.e. 14 inches minimum, what I'd recommend, is that once you cut the hook section off, you then have enough material left to actually make an up trace out of that material. So you're not, there's no loss.
There's no wastage.
There's no wastage whatsoever. And again, these quick change links from Fox are just, to me, heaven, because there's nothing worse than when your hands are freezing cold and you're trying to open a snap link.
Yeah.
It's nightmare stuff. With these, there's no opening. There's a little hook and you just slide around and everything just locks on. And again, to change the trace, it's click on, click off, click on, click off. They're probably, to me, they're fantastic.
Look, we could prattle on about this stuff because let's face it, that's what anglers do. Rather than listen to us, get yourself down at the store, come in and have a look and see it in person. It's a great experience when you come into any fishing store, because not only you're talking about fishing to guys who go, you're also then playing with the bits and pieces, and it's like being a kid in a toy shop. It's a great place to be. So if you can't make it down to the store here, all the details are in the links below. Check out their website, www.mainirishangling.com, and you can buy online and everything is then shipped out that day or the next day to you. So look, we'll see you in the next video, guys.